subscribe to my new Instagram page. Log in and subscribe, Walter Lee Hampton II. Please subscribe to it as Instagram has removed my last page. Please go subscribe to my new Instagram page, Walter Lee Hampton II.
Shouter, you'll let me know when y'all are ready.
Good. Very good.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. As you all can see, I'm joined by Chief Ryan and command staff from APD. This morning at about 3:45, I received the first message. I was preparing to go to the hospital with my mother who's in surgery this morning, so I've been able to watch the messages come through all morning regarding this active shooter situation that we have encountered. Again, this reminder of the danger that our police officers and our public safety personnel face each and every day. While most of us are sleeping, they are continuing to run into danger to make sure that we are protected. I am going to give it to Chief Ryan to share additional information. But again, just a reminder to the public to please call 911. We did start receiving phone calls, but social media received information and has received more information, quite frankly, than we have received through our 911 center. So for us to be able to appropriately respond and assess, we just ask if you can put down your camera, put down your phone, call 911, and then allow us to do what we do. And also, again, unfortunately, this is a situation where it appears that the victim and the shooter knew one another. We have relayed repeatedly that seems to be the scenario with the vast majority of our shootings that have occurred in the city. So with that, I am going to toss it over to Chief Brian, and if for some reason I have to leave, it is because I've gotten a call about my mother, but hopefully I can stay until the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, folks, we received a call about 3:25 this morning, 3:23:25 this morning, of a shooting within the building. Our officers responded within about 5 minutes. Upon their arrival, they immediately engaged the individual that was shooting at them. As we were getting this information through 911, our dispatchers could still hear gunfire being played out throughout the building. We were able to contain this individual as the shootout continued. Right now, what we do know is the situation has ended. We have one individual that is deceased inside the apartment, and the person that we believe is the assailant is also has been killed. Right now we have GBI out, being that our officer was involved in the shooting. This is still an early part of this investigation, and there's a large scene that we have to go through. So everything that we are giving you is truly preliminary. This thing may change out. We may find more evidence and have more information provided to us. There were a number of people that called in, but there were also a number of people who videotaped what was occurring. And so we would like to have anyone that have any further information to don't hesitate to give us a call as it relates to this information that we have. And with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Chief, did you say it was 2 people killed, or
There's a victim inside the apartment, a female victim inside the apartment, and the male assailant.
did the shooting come from the building? Was he shooting outside the building? Was it happening inside?
It appeared that he was shooting both inside and outside the building.
How many gunshots were fired?
We're still, that's early. It's too early for us to tell. We're doing the evidential recovery now.
There's some reports that he was on the balcony or potentially even jumping the balcony, is that true?
It is some evidence that that may have occurred, but this is early in the investigation, so we'll be able to confirm all that he did afterwards.
Were the suspect and the victim in the same building?
Yes, they were in the same building. It appears that they both knew each other. This is again, as the mayor stated, it doesn't appear to be stranger on stranger at all. It is quite evident that they had some type of involvement or understanding of each other.
Chief, did the suspect kill the victim and then police kill the suspect?
It's too early for us to elaborate on that right now.
Do you know if the suspect and the victim lived in that particular building? Or
We know that the victim did live in the building. The suspect, we're trying to determine his did he live or was he visiting, but we do know that they were related to each other. They had some knowledge of each other.
Have weapons been recovered?
Yes, we're going through the weapons recovery right now.
What kind of weapons? A handgun or something?
Multiple weapons.
All guns or other types?
Right now, it appears to be all guns.
can you talk about? We've seen some videos of people posting, damage, bullet holes in walls. What kind of damage have you seen inside?
Based on, I won't get directly into the scene. I'll turn that over to Chief Hampton, who's our Deputy Chief of Criminal Investigation. He has firsthand knowledge of the scene. He can tell you exactly what was on the inside of the building. And I'll turn it to him shortly. Any further questions for me? All right, Chief.
As everyone has stated, we are working a active investigation, so everything is still ongoing. I know there was a question about additional rounds. So yes, there are several rounds inside multiple units. We have been able to check those units and have not located any other victims. So right now it appears that everything is contained inside one apartment or condo inside the building as we speak.
No other residents or people living there were hurt?
Right, we have not determined that. So right now, all the units that we have checked, no other victims hurt or injured.
Do you have any more information on age or about the victim?
Right now, just because we have not made any notification of kin, we want to keep some of that information close to the chest.
Are you guys able to say if the suspect was already in the apartment or if they broke in? Can you mention anything about that?
It appears that the suspect was inside the apartment. No forced entry or anything like that.
Were there any children around or near this incident?
We're still checking. We're just trying to make sure. Right now, it does not appear to be. But as Chief Bryant just stated, everything is still preliminary. Investigators, my homicide investigators just got to the scene, and so we're just doing our thorough check right now.
Let me address that. Folks, one of the things I think that is important for you all to understand is that the response of the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department, I think, really afford us the opportunity to suppress an incident that could have been much worse. And again, this is a testament of where we are as a police department. I so often the question of what's the morale of our police department and do we have our capabilities to respond? The answer is yes. We were able to respond. Sadly, we could not address what happened inside an apartment, but it is our quick response that I think that saved our community from a much worse incident.
Were you guys using a drone to get a better look? How were you able to
We did utilize a drone to be able to assess the scene and to help us out through this process. And again, we utilize as much technology as we can in any given situation.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Inside the shooting now at a Midtown apartment complex. This is our first look at a picture of the man police say opened fire from that apartment balcony. A family member gave us this photo. It shows 32-year-old Jarvis Jarrette having a meal with a 7-year-old daughter. Now that father's dead after police say he shot and killed a woman. Channel 2's Michael Seiden live in Midtown Atlanta on this one. And Michael, a lot of people in that apartment at this hour. I mean, less than 24 hours ago this happened, so they're still shaking.
No doubt, George, we are still hearing really some terrifying stories from people who woke up. I mean, just imagine you live in this high rise, you're asleep in your bed, all of a sudden you hear multiple gunshots, then you look out your balcony and you see police swarming this block. That was the frightening reality that many residents woke up to this morning. A Channel 2 Action News viewer captured the chaos from his balcony as bullets started flying during a tense standoff between an armed man and members of the SWAT team right here in the heart of Midtown Atlanta early Wednesday morning.
So when I heard this, I heard one or two gunshots, probably like 3:15, 3:30. And you know, you'd think that could be fireworks or a car making a loud noise. You're like, what is that? But then about like 5 minutes later, you heard like pop, 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 and then like boom, 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 like in return. You're like, okay, that's people shooting each other.
When Atlanta police and SWAT arrived at the Atlantic House on West Peachtree Street, investigators say 32-year-old Jarvis Jarrette, pictured here with his 7-year-old daughter, started shooting at police, who fired back, striking and killing him.
I started walking down the staircase and I hear literally like yelling, like police yelling at people.
Police also accused Jarrette of shooting and killing a woman who lived inside the building. Right now, the motive remains under investigation.
It appears that they both knew each other. This is again, as the mayor stated, it doesn't appear to be stranger on stranger at all.
Michael Seiden back with us live. Michael, confirm this for us now. Did police actually get more information about this shooting from social media than they did from 911?
Yeah, George, that's a good question. I did reach out to APD and a spokesperson when I asked about what had happened, is more people were going to social media or more people calling 911. The response I got was, you know, during situations like the one that unfolded at this building, it is not uncommon for 911 to get inundated with calls. That means you may be placed on hold until a 911 operator can actually answer your call. But again, police are urging people that when you're reporting an emergency or a crime to stay on hold, that your call will be answered. Of course, a lot of people did rush to social media, but as we know, when it comes to social media, a lot of times things can get blown out of proportion. So that's the official response, though, from APD. George?
Michael Seiden, live for us in
after their daughter was found murdered at a Midtown apartment complex. Her alleged killer caused chaos early yesterday morning during a shootout with police. Officers say he later killed himself. And as Fox 5's Brian Hill reports, loved ones say the victim was dating the alleged gunman.
The family of 31-year-old Courtney Cox describe her as a beautiful soul who lit up every room she entered. Loved ones are now left devastated as they try to understand how her journey ended like this. This was the scene early Wednesday morning after Atlanta police arrived at the high-rise apartment building on Peachtree Street in Midtown. Police say 32-year-old Jarvis Jarrette shot and killed Cox inside Atlantic House Midtown sometime after 3 in the morning. Cox's family tells me she was in a relationship with him.
It appears that the suspect was inside the apartment. No forced entry or anything like that.
Police say Jerry then began firing a rifle at first responders from a balcony on the 21st floor. At one point, investigators say he jumped from balcony to balcony, shooting inside and outside of the building, hitting several units.
As we were getting this information through 911, our dispatchers could still hear gunfire being played out throughout the building.
At least one officer returned fire. They found Jarrette dead on a balcony. The Paul Hastings law firm tells us Cox had been an associate with them since 2016. In a statement, they said in part, "We are deeply saddened by this tragedy and we are focused on supporting Courtney's family and one another through this difficult time." They described her as a dear friend and colleague to their personnel in Atlanta and throughout the firm. In Midtown, Brian Hill, Fox 5 News.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, October 28th, years 2021. So, as you read that report, looked at those reports that I showed about the woman who was killed by her boyfriend. It's almost shocking. I guess we've got kind of used to it now. This man went in there, shot and killed her multiple times. His name was Jarvis Jarrette. He's 32 years of age. He killed a beautiful young woman, an attorney, Courtney Cox. And we all left wondering, well, what was this all about? Why did he go in there and do this? Now, here's the killer part. this is the strange thing to me. They had only been dating for a few months. A few months. They met and were dating for a few months. Something happened in that time frame, a few months, that this man was so angry that he went in the building. You can even hear, there's a recording where he's heard saying, "I killed that bitch." What could have happened between him and her that in a few months this man decided to go in there and kill her? Just have a few months. I mean, seriously, if you're dating somebody and within a few months you realize, this person isn't for me, you kill them? This has happened so frequently here in Atlanta where some black woman is dating some man a few months, it don't go the way they wanted to go, and they come and kill her or themselves or just her, and then go to jail. And I keep saying this, and people will get mad at me. I don't care. Black women have got to start making better decisions about the men that they bring into their lives. As I was saying, black women have got to start making better decisions about the men they bring into their lives, into their homes, that they have sex with, that they have children with. I can't figure out for the life behind just a few months. That relationship went bad so quickly that it ended up with her death. Something has to be wrong with this guy. And I bet you if once they start bringing out discussions about him, you're going to find that this man has some mental issues of some sort, or just a psycho, or just an angry person, or have been in other abusive relationships. This has happened now so frequently, I'm scared for my black sisters who keep meeting these men. They just met a few months ago, this past summer. We're now in October, late October, going into November. They just met just a few months ago, and already she's dead and he's dead. What happened? You know, my sisters, I know y'all think y'all know what y'all do, and I've met so many black women who choose the wrong. It's something about black women being drawn to a certain type of element with black men. It probably happens with white women, but we ain't gonna go back to that discussion. I don't want too many white women any damn way. But it's something about black women choosing these alpha men who are so violent and dangerous that it's reached probably an epidemic. Every week we're seeing these types of incidents where these men are shooting and killing these women, or stabbing them, or whatever, choking them and then killing them. I mean, these are black men doing this harm. Every week. Now, we do know white men. We just had some big stories. I can't wait y'all to get into the details of it. And you know what? Just like this white man just been did blah, 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 blah. Well, this happens a lot more frequently in the black community is what I'm trying to say. A lot more frequently. More frequently than we maybe even want to admit. Every time I turn on the news, it's at least once or twice a week, some man then killed his wife or girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or somebody he was having sexual relationships with. So, you just have to wonder what causes all this anger. That it has to end with a murder-suicide. I ain't never been that mad at somebody else. I'm going to kill their ass and then kill myself. Hell no. I like my freedom. I kind of like living. Matter of fact, I love living. Fuck that relationship. Me and Earl in 2 different homes right now. They ain't never crossed my mind to harm Earl in that matter. Like maybe shove him over to a pit with some alligators or something. You know, I ain't going to do it myself. I let the alligators do the dirty work. I know they eat up all the evidence. But you have to wonder, and I'm just kidding, I would not. I've never, it's never entered into my head to harm Earl or anyone that I know. Anybody I say I love that I care something about, it's just ridiculous. It's sad. And black women keep choosing these men. And it happened again next week. And it happened the week after next. And it happened again all this year. Story after story after story of black women being exterminated by some man they was having sex with, a boyfriend, a lover, husband or ex-husband. These men don't have no problem with snuffing their lives out quick. In some instances, like this one, taking their lives with them. Now, here's the killer part. I was trying to figure out how did he get into this high rise into the 21st floor. They said he was already in the unit, so clearly she let him in there. Did she know she was letting this man in the house to kill her? Were they using drugs? Was he high on drugs? I bet you that man was high on drugs. How much y'all want to bet? See, we live in a world now where rap musicians promote drugs all day long. Molly, ecstasy, meth, Tina, coke. Everybody's popping pills and smoking weed and Molly, ecstasy, hookah and all this shit. And these niggas are fucking crazy. These niggas are really, truly fucking crazy. I've seen it. And these black women allow this trash into their home. She was an attorney. Working for a law firm. What was this nigga doing with his life? Then he had children. What was this nigga doing with his life? I can only imagine. But we don't know. The truth will come out. We can all assume, but I can imagine what this nigga was doing in his life. Nothing! Then here she is, an attorney. Was the sex that good? I mean, come on now. This is starting to get ridiculous. You're an attorney. What are you doing with this nigga? You can't find nothing of any substantial value. Somebody doing anything with their lives? Anything? Talk about sleeping with the enemy. Goddamn. She can't find nobody. I'm a gay black man. I can assure y'all, I ain't about to lay up with no motherfucking broke-ass bum. I'm not doing that. And I've never done that. You ain't got no job, you ain't no income, you ain't got shit going on for you. Get the fuck out of my face. I don't want to be bothered. But these black women would do it in a heartbeat. And I ain't trying to be critical of black women. I'm certainly not trying to be critical of Miss Courtney Cox, because she surely could not have known or guessed that this nigga would come and do some stupid shit like what he did. Kill her and kill himself. And harm other people in that building. Potentially harm, put other people's lives. I'm sure she didn't see that when she was with Dane when they were laying up in bed fucking. Sometimes it's better to go out to go get you a fucking dildo. She'd be alive right now. She had never met. I don't even know where they met. I'm sure. As the story will come out, and it will come out, because I saw some news reports where some family members were discussing the two of them and how they got along so great and everything. So finally seemed so happy until that nigga snorted some damn coke. How much you want to bet that nigga was high on drugs? I'm willing to bet $1 billion that nigga was high on drugs. Y'all ain't no fool. I done been around enough black folks. And I love my brothers, but I know they got some habits, some bad fucking habits. I got a ton of black friends, gay and straight. Walter, I get some ecstasy. We just doing some Molly. Oh, girl, we did some coke. I've been to parties and functions where everybody was passing plates of coke around and sniffing coke and snorting this and are smoking crack. Yeah, that's right. They were smoking crack back in the 90s. I think they still do crack in some places. But now everybody's on this Molly, methamphetamines, coke, pills of God knows what's in these pills. You niggas take the fuck out of mine. You see, this couch is empty. It's just me and where my plastic plant. Oh, I moved him on the other side of the room. I need to get his ass so we can sit here and talk. She made a mistake that cost her life. And she ain't the only one. There will be more deaths. You better believe it. More women will choose this unfortunate decision. More people will choose that. More women will choose to be with a man or date a man who will come back and harm her. Why? Who knows? Why? I mean, seriously, who knows why? You have to wonder why when people do stuff like that. Why? Why? But she chose him. There's a lot of black women out here choose these type of men. Oh, he fine. Did she not know he had those guns and weapons? Did she not know he was a violent individual? She's an attorney. She couldn't do a background check. She didn't go to their computer and say, let me see who this is. Because I Googled the man and saw arrest photos and every damn thing. He didn't have an extensive background. What was he doing for a living? What was he working at? He had children. What about his ex-girlfriends? You know, it makes you wonder. What it makes you got to wonder about, well, what was this all about? What was it all about? Why was he so angry that he had to go in there and kill her? Y'all, I'm telling you, I love my sisters. I have 5 sisters. And I'm seeing more and more of these incidents, even in my own family, where these guys just cannot control their actions. I'm seeing the violence in my nephews, and they all have guns and just crazy stuff. And it's to the point that I don't want certain people in my home. I made it clear to a lot of folks, do not come into my house with a gun. You have no reason to come into my home with a gun. None. If you have a gun, go put it in your car or you can leave. You know, like we had a cookout here last summer, and I had to let everybody know that I was coming over here, do not bring them weapons and guns and mass destruction into my house. I don't want it in there. And I was not going to ignore that. I know how everybody got a stick their gun and even have a holster. I'm like, what is this? Take these guns, get these up, get out of here. Kids running around here. Who y'all, what are y'all, what's going on with all these guns? Everybody got one. So the minute you get mad at somebody over the slightest thing, they go on a shooting rampage. But you black women love these type of men. You bring them into your home. Black women are highly educated. The vast majority of black women got degrees, education, job opportunity, but you bring this filth into your home. You bring this food. She brought a fool into her home. She really didn't know who he was. Dating just a few months, now look what happens. And this isn't the only incident of a couple just dating just a few months that ends in death. And I know white folks do it, white folks do it, white folks do it, white folks do it. White folks do it too. Y'all love worry about these white folks, but they don't give a fuck about you niggas. Quit worrying about them white folks. They don't have no concern with you. You will never walk into a room and say, I'm so concerned, Bob. I'm so concerned about the black women over there and what's happened with them. This is awful. You'll never hear that. White folks don't concern themselves with you niggas' affairs. Other than meddling in your affairs to make sure that you don't have no success in life. They'll do that. They ain't trying to worry about trying to help you women. They don't give a fuck about that. So, you all have to start making better decisions. Well, you picking on the victim. Y'all better start making better decisions about the people that you bring into your home, the women that the niggas that you women have got to stop and think about these men that you bring into your home. It don't make no sense. This is starting to get like an epidemic of violence against black women for no reason. What could she have done that caused this man to get that angry that he came in there, I shot that bitch? Y'all women so desperate for men that you walk past the good guys and you choose a fool like that. She chose that man. She chose that fool. That unfortunately cost her life. Imagine she had kids. There was an incident here in Atlanta a few years ago where this man shot and killed. He moved in with this woman. He ended up shooting and killing her son, who was about to go off to college, and he committed suicide. This man ain't had no business in this woman's house. She worked downtown, and she had this executive position. This man was a fucking bum, a drug dealer. And I don't understand what happened that day, how the police came on. This is in McDonough, someplace in Henry County or Stockbridge or something. But the house was all shot up. She ended up dying in the house, and her son ended up dying because this dumb bitch, excuse my language, this dumb woman let this fool in her house. She didn't know better than to bring this fool into her home with her children in there. This nigga was a bum selling drugs outside her house. Then she tried to put him out. She should have never put him in there. The crazy part is this nigga was married to another woman who lived right down the street on the same street. I said, okay, this is crazy. He lived right up the block. Was living with, married to this other woman, he ended up in there with her. Same street. In the same situation, the nigga wasn't doing nothing. She threw him, like the woman threw the woman he was married to, she threw him out because he was a bum, and he ends up, this woman let him, what in the world is going on here? Y'all, get you a deal though. I'm serious. If you that desperate for a man gonna be me, go. That goes back to what I was saying earlier, y'all get upset. You all have got to start looking at other men from other countries. They come from all over the world. They live here. I have friends who are Jamaicans, Haitians, Hispanic, Brazilian, different mentality. Different mentality. Guy who painted up, did work over here. Different mentality. Him and his girl, they stay together. I mean, they working together, doing projects. They making money, doing things together. He expensive as hell, though. But you want to be in a relationship with a man who admires you, wants to work with you, and respects and loves you. I don't know what's going on in these relationships where it ends in murder. Repeatedly. Over and over. And next week it's going to happen again. We'll be sitting here watching the news and we'll see it again. Then it happen again and again and again. And these black women keep choosing these wrong, ignorant ass people, the men, folks, they bring in their house. They're going to do it again. And my coffee's getting cold. This is not my first video about this subject. And I wanted to wait a few days because when that happened, I was really surprised, disappointed that this happened because I knew exactly what happened right in Midtown. And you want to be respectful to the family members and friends of Courtney Cox. I don't know her, but I know eventually their family members and friends see these videos and they comment, well, I can see it now. But Courtney chose this man. She didn't know what she was dealing with. Yeah, I made some bad decisions and choices, but I heard him get that trash on out. You gotta go. But again, that's her decision. And it cost her life. What did she see in this character? What? We'll never know the answer to that one. All we can do is listen to what the family members and friends have to say. And they all have been on the news making comments. I was trying to find some of those reports where they were commenting about Courtney and Jarvis. They seem such a good couple together. Yeah, black folks. I've seen these good couples together. But anyway, it is 9 o'clock in the morning. I have a doctor's appointment this morning, and I'm about to get up here and finish having these coffee, take a shower, get dressed. It'll be there at 11. But it's raining here in Atlanta. I'm trying to do one more video this morning, something else about the housing market. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take care of that one. But today it is, I can barely see with this light in my face. It is Thursday, October the 28th. The year is 2021. Of course, we're still in the coronavirus pandemic. Hopefully, this will be the end of it in the next few months as everybody get their vaccines. We'll see, or lose their job. I should do a bit about that because I know several people who've actually quit their jobs instead of taking the vaccine. You're going to quit a job with insurance, benefits, all this stuff because you don't want the vaccine job you've been working for years. Seniority. You give all that up because you don't want to take this vaccine. Really? Them some dumbass motherfuckers. But hey, that's their life. But anyway, let me get out of here. Give me another cup of coffee. Might do the second video. I'm out of here and enjoy your rest of the day. I want to hear what you all have to say about Courtney Cox and the situation. What was going on? What do you all think? I mean, I don't get it. Why do we keep seeing these incidents happen in the black community? But so many black men are harming, killing their girlfriends and wives and baby mamas and all. What is going on in their heads? Anyway, love to hear y'all thoughts and opinions. I'm out of here and enjoy the rest of your Thursday.